homepage and like us. Link up with us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google Chat, and LinkedIn, and listen to our podcast. Which of the Q95 Facebook subpages of your favorite shows and programs will be the first to reach 100,000 likes? Your guess will be as good as mine, but you can help make it happen. Log on to Q95FMradio.com today and every day. Let's get the Q family to reach 100,000 likes on Facebook. Let's make it happen. Call our sales office at 767-448-5822. Tune in to Q95 and Q95FMradio.com or TuneInRadio.com Q95 and listen. Call our live on-air shows at 767-449-3095, 3096, and 3097. If you are overseas, call 305-439-9624. Stay on top of what's hot and happening as it happens, when it happens, only on the big station, only on Q95. Right on. At Q95, we are family. Join your family. You can send emails, request songs, name your top 10 songs of the week, and even tell us the music that you want to hear. Stay on top of the latest news and entertainment. Hear it first as it happens. Stay in touch. Call our sales office at 767-448-5822 or call our on-air live talk shows at 767-449-3095, 3096, and 3097. Stay right on Q. Keep it locked. Q95. Everyone's listening. Advertise on Q95 today. Get more bang for your buck. Talk shows, news, sports, music shows, entertainment events, weekend shows, Newsweek reviews, early morning shows, evening and daytime shows, hot tips on health, nutrition, security, traffic, weather, environment, and more. Place your display banners on the Q95.
It's 1 o'clock bang time. 1 o'clock in the Eastern Caribbean. Time for the talk on the block. This morning, of course, we promised you to be speaking with LaDonna Young, I think it is. LaDonna Young.
Yes.
She's the president of Rebuild Dominica Incorporated. I know you're showing your pretty face already, Donna, and we want to welcome you. Well, let's take a break. We'll come back.
Okay.
Stick around. After this break, we'll come back. Stick around.
Eastside Trading Limited has a new, modern and upgraded look and layout for the shopping comfort and convenience of our many customers. Please visit us and let us celebrate Mother's Day in a big way from today until 12 May 2024. Come and enjoy great savings. Get a chance to win one of our many prizes. First prize, $300 voucher. Second prize, $200 voucher. 10 vouchers of $100 each. Spend $50 or more to enter the draw. Buy $100 or more and get a bottle of Banks Cherry Brandy or Banks Ginger Wine absolutely free. And check out our many specials, including Clio Baked Beans, 2 for only $7.90. And olive, now only $6.95. Condensed tomato soup, now $4.50. 15-ounce pigeon peas, now only $4.50. Cream-styled golden corn, only $3.95. 29-ounce whole peel tomatoes, only $4.50. Also, a large range of cosmetics at reduced prices. Shop and save at Eastside Trading Limited. Eastside Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
Again, Dominica, this is Q95, and it's time for the talk on the block. As I tell you on a daily basis, if it's on the block, we'll talk about it. And this afternoon is no exception. I've not heard a report from the police just yet, but I'm hearing that there was another seizure of some guns at the port yesterday. Interception by customs. Whether any arrests has been made thus far, I'm not privy to that. So we'll be following the story and many others today, the 24th of April. But our first goal this afternoon, it's with a young lady called LaDonna Young. She's the new president of Rebuild Dominica Incorporated. Good afternoon, Dana. Are you there?
I am. How are you? How are you?
You are. You're a little soft spoken. Can we bring that voice up a bit?
Well, I'm trying.
All right. Good afternoon to you and welcome. Welcome, LaDonna.
Thank you.
Is that the name, LaDonna?
Yes, you pronounced it correctly. Americans want to call me LaDana, and I'm like, what is that?
All right.
So, yes, you pronounced it correctly.
LaDonna, tell us about this Rebuild Dominica Incorporated and maybe give us a little background as to who you are. I'm sure people want to find out who's this Dominican American this time. Yes.
Yes. So, Rebuild Dominica was founded in 2015 after Tropical Storm Erica and continued after Hurricane Maria. So the founding principle of Rebuild Dominica was, of course, to rebuild after natural disasters. So we supported in regards to shipping medical supplies and equipment. We actually delivered those, I want to say 2017. I would have to check my dates, but we partnered with Project Cure and we did ship some medical supplies and equipment to Dominica. That was valued about 400 and something thousand US. And my understanding is at that point, that was about a little over $1 million worth in EC dollars for the donation. We have supporters in the diaspora. We have supporters that are on island as well. The original president was Mr. Gabriel Christian Esquire in the Maryland, DC area. Myself, I actually joined a couple of months after Tropical Storm Erica, and I work as a public relations consultant specializing in project management and user design experience. So I lend as a volunteer for several years and worked as chairperson for Rebuild Dominica, and I was recently nominated to serve as president this year.
So what is the main objective right now as the president?
Yes. So at this moment, what we're online to do is to present the opportunity for 2 students in Dominica to study in high school in the U.S. at the Pineywood School. The Pineywood School is a prestigious boarding school that was founded in 1901 by African Americans, and the value of that tuition is about $30,000 to $40,000 a year for just the boarding. So they would live on the campus and have the opportunity every year to renew their scholarship until they graduate in the United States system and earn a high school diploma.
So tell me, what are the prerequisites?
Good grades. So we have the main prerequisite is a grade of B or better. And in regards to the application, it is available on our website at rebuilddominica.org. If you go to the website, you will be able to see it featured on the homepage, or you can search for scholarship and that will come up. We are accepting applications through this weekend. So what we want to do is get as many students as possible to apply for this opportunity. And then we will be announcing who has, which two students have the best essay. So in the application, there are three prompts, basically three questions or three essays choices. The student is to choose one and do a 400-word well-written essay. So it's pretty simple. I know our students can do this. I know that it's going to be a great turnout, and we're just very thankful to have this opportunity to share this on air. Thank you.
Any particular target in terms of the scholarships?
So we're targeting the entire island. We don't want to exclude anyone, but it has to be a student that is based in Dominica, going to school in Dominica currently, and is either in their first year of high school or is about to enter high school. So there is some information on the application as regarding like age. Give me a second. I'll get that information for you right now.
Okay.
'Cause I know we're on air. This is the best time to give this information. We also have the, bear with me just a second. Bear with me one moment.
Hmm.
I'm just pulling up the scholarship application. And it is a PDF on our website. When you click the link, it opens up to the PDF. So what we're looking at is students that would be graduating either 2026, 2027, 2028, or 2029, male or female. As I mentioned, the 400 words essay. I would have to double check with the age. I believe that is around 14 to 15 years old. We encourage anyone that is interested or has more questions to write to us at info@rebuilddominica.org. That's our new email.
But
And
is there an age limit?
yes, so then it would have to be entering high school. So from my understanding, that would be anywhere from 14 to 15 years old.
So you will give that student an opportunity to do high school in America?
Yes, yes, sir. And we have partnered with the Piney Wood School to give free tuition and board at this boarding school. And if anyone knows about boarding schools or have had, the opportunity to have family members that went to boarding school, you come out very well rounded. And the goal is to make sure that the students that we are selecting, the two students, serve as ambassadors for Rebuild Dominica and for our island as a whole.
Well, I suspect that Mr. Simeon Joseph might join us. He's an education officer. He used to be an education officer. He's well rounded. So let's
Very
say good afternoon to you, Mr. Simeon Joseph. How are you doing? Can you unmute your mic because we're not hearing you very well? Something is going on there. Simeon, are you hearing me? Can you unmute your mic there, Ladana? Let's see if Simeon will come on.
Yes, I'll mute mine if you need me to.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Simeon?
My
I'm
mic is
hearing you.
on.
Yeah,
My
okay.
mic,
Well, yeah. All right, good.
yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, we were asking Simeon how important are those scholarships being offered there by the Rebuild Dominica?
Oh, well, Matt, this is very important for Dominica. And first of all, let me say we are very happy that the Rebuild Dominica Foundation has been able to partner with Pinewood School. So I want to say it's important for Dominica on two levels. The first level is it gives young Dominican students an opportunity to pursue high school in the United States and as well to look forward to becoming a young ambassador for Dominica. It is not just an educational scholarship opportunity. We are looking for students who will be able to be shining stars for Dominica in the fields of academics, in the field of sports, in the fields of civic education, and not only that, who are able to represent Dominica as individuals themselves, So they have to have a very strong in-depth knowledge of Dominica. They have to be skilled, they have to be talented, because it leads us to the second level. The Piney Woods Academy is a very prestigious, long-standing Black high school in the United States. As a matter of fact, it is the oldest boarding school in America. It goes back over 100 years. And at Piney Woods, if you do your research on Piney Woods, you will see that it is a very all-rounded school with very high standards, with very high expectations, and it provides all-inclusive education. It is not only about academics. Students are involved in agriculture. Students are involved in social studies. Students are involved in religion. It's a very deeply religious institution. And so that is the second level upon which is going to be very important for Dominica, because we will be there creating that kind of relationship whereby our students grab the opportunity and avail themselves for a very high level of secondary education. And secondly, they will go to Piney Woods where they will be able to represent Dominica, make Dominica known to an area of the world, and prove to the world and the United States that Dominican students are capable and able to shine above all others, and to not only that, open the door for other Dominicans to come. One of the things I would like to say to the students who are going to Piney Woods for the first time this year is they are going to be trailblazers. They are going to be leading the way. So they have to light a tortuous path that we will set a standard where the expectations for the scholarship are fulfilled so that many other Dominicans in the future, because this is going to be a long-term partnership with Piney Woods, right, LaDonna? And hopefully when that happens, we can see many other students getting the opportunity to follow these first two students who will be going to Piney Woods and get an opportunity for a very high standard of high school education in the United States.
LaDonna, you're saying only two? That's
Yes,
all?
to be honest, we were initially expecting them to provide full scholarship for one student, and they really wanted to give more than the opportunity to just one student. And I like the idea because now you have two students coming at the same time from Dominica, so they have someone else from Dominica at this school with them. And then this gives them the encouragement that they need. So, sometimes you get homesick, right? And so this is, to me, very, very important and very strategic the way they've offered the two students
Mhm.
the opportunity. We do hope that we can get more students to be admitted. Again, this is an opportunity for the student not to just go to school to the US for 1 year. Once they have proven themselves after their first year and they have maintained their grades, Piney Woods has accepted that they are going to continue the scholarship each year until that student graduates. Very important.
So they need to show good grades.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
oh yes, oh
Absolutely.
yes, oh yes. They're not just going there mat on a overseas trip to the United States. The Piney Woods has very high standards, and they
Okay.
have to perform. It cannot take it for granted that they're just going to go there and be laid back. No, they have to work very hard. They have, as I said, they have to set a trail. They have to blaze a trail. They have to, I'm very confident in our Dominican students that they will be able to perform and maybe even outperform the students at Piney Woods, and give Dominica a lasting place in Piney Woods.
Tell me, Simeon, I mean, I asked that question earlier, but I need you guys to dig deeper. Would you be ready to tell the students at this time what are the subjects they are going to explore in that essay composition?
Um,
Do you have the
Yes,
subject
I
area?
actually have the prompts right now, and I can, give that to you on air. These are the
right.
exact questions that Piney Woods is going to ask any student, no matter where they're
Uh-huh.
originating from. So, like I mentioned, the applicant is required to write a well-written essay addressing one prompt. They have three choices, and they have to use a minimum of 400 words. The topic is leadership. One of the prompts is, how can the Piney Woods School prepare them for leadership?
Okay.
The second prompt is for them to share details about a specific time when they stepped into a leadership role and the lessons they learned or the insights that they gained. And the third, remember they have choices. So this is their third choice for answering this essay. Who
Hmm.
is someone in their life they consider a leader? Provide the example of how they've seen that person lead and what that example teaches them about leadership. So it's a very to the point essay. I
Right.
think our bright students could write this in their sleep.
Right.
Hmm.
And
So,
and and Matt, I would like to encourage parents and teachers who are assisting students to write this. Do not write it for them. do not pen it for them, do not compose it for them, because in the end, the students are going to have to face an interview with a panel of admission staff of Pine Woods.
Hmm.
And if the parents are the ones who write this for the students, their deficiencies will be revealed when they face that interview. So the students must, and these are very simple questions. We know that there's a dearth of leadership. We know that there's a need for leadership, good leadership qualities. And we want to encourage our students to, because not only that, it has to do with having what type of role models do you set in your life? What are your standard bearers? Who are the people you put before you as real, genuine, authentic leaders? And so we want our students to aspire to look onto people like that. That is where the question is coming from, because when they go to Piney Woods, they will be expected to assume leadership roles, right? And so that is why these questions are so very poignant and significant. So it must be from the student, it must be articulations from the student, it must be from the student's experience, and it must be from the students' inert knowledge that they have to write these compositions, because that is just the first step of the admission process.
But tell me, Simeon, I'll go back to the same question. Do you have to come from any particular background? Because you know there are many students who want to apply.
No,
How do
no,
you zero into two?
no, no. You have to come. The thing is, Matt, is to provide Dominican students, no matter what their background, with an opportunity to pursue high school education at one of the most prestigious boarding schools in the United States. And no matter what background, what we would hope is that the background the students will have, one is good behavior, okay, good moral compass, okay, a very good disposition to interacting with others, interpersonal skills, communication skills, studying skills, academic ability. That is the background we want. We're not looking for political, religious, social, or economic background. We're not looking for that. We're looking for students who can step up to the plate and based on their inert academic abilities and intellectual abilities, their thinking skills, their critical and analytical skills, are able to express themselves, represent themselves, and just uh, assume the role of leaders whereby they are able to access that scholarship and to succeed.
And somebody's asking the question on Facebook: what happens after high school?
Good question. Lana, you can take that from
I
there.
think that that's a great question. That would depend on the student. That would 100% depend on the student, because remember, now you've graduated from the US system. You're eligible to apply to colleges in the US. You've been living at a boarding school, so you've established residency in the US because you have a visa. So, as a leader and a trailblazer, that student has ample opportunity to go in any avenue. The only thing they can't do is become president of the United States. Now, I will say this, we are going to be looking for students that have economic disadvantages. I will say that. I
Okay.
would love to see students that think that their parents cannot afford it. They can't maybe even afford to do a student visa. We have sponsors here in the diaspora that will step forward. We need to understand what the need is. So again, any questions,
Right.
email it to info@rebuilddominica.org. Go to the website rebuilddominica.org. And the way I see it, closed mouths do not get fed. Let us get these kids the the opportunity that they so deserve.
Right.
But tell
And
me,
Matt, Matt,
before you go there, Simeon, how many? I mean, people are gonna rush to apply. So,
but yes,
is there the closing point? Is there a timeline kind of
no,
There's
no, no.
well, we do have an application closing point.
thing?
We, ha-
Oh,
So
we just we
this
just have a deadline, Matt.
right. The
okay.
deadline is
Because
Sunday. This
This
and,
Sunday.
Sunday,
right,
this Sunday is the deadline. We will not accept any applications past Sunday. So
and
the
then
students have the whole of the weekend to write their essay.
right, and then the applications will be screened. They will be shortlisted. They will be
Mhm.
considered by Piney Woods and us, and the recommendations will be made. And then Piney Woods would make the final determination
So you
based on
guys will be
our
part of that
recommendation.
part of that panel and of Georgia.
Absolutely. And I will say
Selection.
this, the students do need to provide the contact information or email for their English teacher, for their math teacher because their transcripts are going to be verified. We are
Right.
going to need that directly from the school, the official transcripts. We also need the contact information for their principal or guidance counselor. That is a requirement. There's no leniency there.
And Matt, I would say that we have already been in touch with the secondary school principals in Dominica. We have
Oh,
contacted them
okay.
directly. That the process has been ongoing for a while now, and most of the principals are aware. They have the information. So therefore, I hope they would have been promoting it in their schools already. And it has been discussed. So I mean, there would have, what we are now doing, is extending it to maybe students who may not have discussed it with their parents in the community, to people who may not have known about it. But most of the secondary school principals in Dominica would have heard about that already and would have already begun the process of doing that. I just want to touch on the point of Ladana when she spoke about the economic things. The committee and members in the diaspora, we have are very much, will be very much supportive of students who are selected to assist them to make their way to the United States if they are experiencing any difficulties or any if they foresee any limitations of accessing the scholarships once they would have been selected.
All right, somebody asking another question on Facebook. After high school, who takes up the financial responsibility?
The student.
The
I mean, we're
student.
Student,
talking about leaders,
And of
right?
course, you can, and I've seen it happen that students do so well that they get scholarship to move on.
precisely.
And this is why we have the requirement that they serve as ambassador for Rebuild Dominica. They are going to be plugged into a network of attorneys, project managers, engineers, architects, agricultural
STEM,
specialists, educational specialists, exactly.
scientists,
So they're
scientists,
not going to be
technical,
failing.
yes.
We expect that this student is going to excel. We expect that this student is going to give back to Dominica.
But
Ah,
one
that's
one
uh,
thing, Matt, I would like to appeal to the parents in advance.
mhm.
Once their students are selected, they mustn't lay back. They have a responsibility to support their child, to ensure that they keep in touch with their child, to continue to motivate and encourage the child to appreciate the scholarship that they would have gotten and to excel. We don't want parents to just fall back and lay back, or not only to be totally dependent on us and the school when they may have their own responsibilities as parents to fulfill. This is already an opportunity for a full scholarship, for the support of the committee and people in other members of the diaspora who are there to assist. And that is what I would say a very privileged opportunity. That
So we
does not that does not forsake the responsibility of the child and the parent to ensure that they fulfill their responsibilities to live up to the standards and the expectations.
And if I could interject just quickly, when the students are being interviewed, if the parents are heard speaking in the background, they're going to disqualify their child. You cannot coach your child. The parents will have their separate interview with the school because, of
mhm.
course, if it's a minor, the student needs to have parental consent. And the other thing that we want to just be sure is that the mentality is teach a man to fish. We are at Rebuild Dominica of that mentality. We teach a man to fish. When you teach a man to fish, he eats for life.
Somebody's asking another question. I'm asking on their behalf. What exactly? And I think you spoke to that earlier, Ladana, in terms of the scholarship. What is contained within that scholarship?
Yes, great question. So room and board is contained within that scholarship. That is a value of about $30,000 to $40,000 for the year. This starts with the fall semester of 2024. So these students are applying to begin school in autumn.
Another question coming up there. How sure are we about the security on the campus?
Matt,
Well, Simeon, you want to answer that one?
and two of us can do that. So I would ask any parent to Google Piney Woods
Okay.
Boarding School, and they will read upon it and they will understand about the security and the administration of the school. That's the first thing. However, when you do your research on Pinewood, it's a very secure academy. It is located on thousands and thousands of acres of land. There are all the administrative and managerial programs in place to guarantee the maximum security of the student, not only the security, but of their safety There is a very sound what the code of conduct. You
Okay.
know, there are very sound guidelines for everyday living. There are structures in place for the students to be engaged on a daily basis, for them to organize their time, for them to be involved. So the students are not just going to school and then that's it. There are rules. There will be guidance, and they're going to be the guidance counselors. They're going to be the structures in place. There's going to be all the necessary regulatory and administrative framework in the school for because the students in general, and that's why I encourage students, parents in Dominica, Google Piney Woods. You will see for yourself, and you will be thrilled, of course. And one of the good things about it is that we are very proud to know that this is an originally black a high school, originally black, the first
Yeah.
boarding school in the United States, okay, founded on Christian principles, founded on moral principles, founded on ethical principles, and with a sound board of education and and management board that guarantees the legacy of what the original concept of the school was about. So, I mean, it is very safe, and I don't know what I can say again to assure. That is why, again, when
Hmm.
we talk about safety, the parents themselves had a responsibility to guide their students, to give them the necessary instructions.
Hmm.
Yes, the child is going into a different environment, into a foreign environment, but it is the parent who has to guide the child and continue to give the child that parental guidance as to what should be their mindset, what should be their attitude, what should be their levels of engagement, what do they open up themselves to. And it goes both ways.
Let me just ask because people are asking as well, Matt. In terms of other scholarships opportunities for people are asking questions, is it just for high schools or what about college students? Will the Rebuild Dominica Incorporated start talking about scholarships for students in general?
So we already have a relationship with the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and that provides international students the opportunity to apply to get a scholarship to go to college. So that's something that we've already established through the help of the law offices of Gabriel Christian and Gabriel Christian Esquire. He is our former president, has been our legal counsel. He remains our legal counsel. He remains on the board. And we are very happy to tell you that there already is in place with the University of Maryland the opportunity to actually go to college. But again, this is an application that has to be done directly through the school. And I'll give the name again. It is the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
And so as we wrap up this afternoon, I just want you to speak to the website again so people can get more information about this initiative. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up on Facebook. Great, great
Yeah, thank
initiative.
you
Yeah.
guys. I appreciate the feedback. So again, it's www.rebuilddominica.org. So just remember to have your two D's in there, rebuilddominica.org. And if you have questions, just email info@ rebuilddominica.org. And on our website, we actually just established a toll-free number. I know that doesn't necessarily help for those who don't have the ability to call the US, but our number is 866-847-4947. And again, that is 866 toll free 845-4947. For those of us that have family overseas that can call directly, people that are in the US, you can have family members call in for you, ask questions.
Mhm.
And then I would recommend the email because the email, you have a paper trail and you can ask many questions and wait for the reply. But the main thing is go ahead and complete the application if you are interested. We encourage principals, if they're listening to this, educators that are listening to this, if you already know of a top student in your class, please refer them to the website.
Another question quickly there. If the students were to fail below the required academic grades, would the parents or could the parents be would the parents be able to step in and take care of this financial responsibility? Simeon, this one for you?
Well,
They
I think, Ladana,
have
go.
to because
They,
this
they,
scholarship means you got to have the grades. If you don't have the
yeah,
grades, the
you can
next year you
continue.
do not qualify and your parents would foot the bill. So it would
Right,
behoove the student to continue their good grades because it's good grades getting them into the
right.
school. So then they are expected to maintain.
Exactly. And if they don't maintain, they will lose the scholarship, but it's up to the parent if they want to continue. But let's face it, Matt, we are hoping The students who are selected will not disappoint us. We know the capability of the Dominican students. We know the capacity of our Dominican young people. We know once they put their mind and their hearts to it, they will achieve. And I'm hoping that the students who are selected will shock us, will surprise us, and will make us very proud. That is what I'm hoping and praying for.
Well, thank you very much. Is this a one-time initiative, or we expect this to
No,
continue
This is the first
through?
initiative. This is the first initiative. We have to see how it goes, how the students perform, and it is up to the school to say that they want to open the doors for more students. So we're establishing a relationship. Piney Woods already has international students going to that academy. So this is an opportunity for Dominica to shine.
Again, thank you very much, LaDonna and Mr. Simeon Joseph.
For having us.
All right.
thank you.
I
Thank you,
hope we
Matt.
can have more conversations going forward. Okay. Thank
Oh,
you very much,
certainly.
guys.
And we will update you as we move along. Once the student has been selected and they are on the way to the United States, we will keep our Dominican brethren updated on the progress of what we are doing and how our students are performing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Good afternoon. Bye-bye. All right, Dominica, this is Q95. This is the Talk on the Block. We promised you last week he'll be back, and he's back, in the midst of so many current and topical subjects. Now, I want to say good afternoon to Mr. Andy Jolly. We don't have too much time this afternoon, but we can explore a few of the burning issues of the day on the Talk on the Block. Andy Jolly, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Matt. It's a pleasure to stop by your office again.
I know, and we welcome you all the time. Although I know you get a lot of pressure when you go out there.
I do. Your office seems to remind me of the principal's office at SMA. You go in there and boy, there was a lot of pressure when you went down to see one of the brothers down there.
Brother Jermaine.
Brother Jermaine was notable. Brother Jermaine, Brother Wakeham. There's quite a few of them.
That remember the thick,
the thick canes. Oh, you experienced that as
oh,
well?
a few times. It was troublesome, very troublesome.
Which means
guy.
you were a bad boy.
Troublesome guy, not bad.
Well, I got my fair share as well too. So there was plenty for everyone.
I know. These were the days. And 1:37 is the afternoon time. I know we will discuss some of the burning issues of the day. I want to ask you the very burning question at this time. We had conversations, and we've had this for the week as it relates to the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
And of course, it's burning for the week.
Well,
because
yes,
because
it's something that a lot of people are passionate about.
that community is in rejoicing
Well,
that
well,
the
yes.
laws have been lifted.
Well, I mean, you have to keep in mind the LGBTQ, and they actually say plus
Right.
community is one that's significant and one that's been growing. And for many years they felt like their rights have been trampled over
Okay.
simply because there were laws put against some of their personal beliefs or some of their sexual beliefs.
Mhm.
And you know, there is means for celebration. Obviously, simply because they won a huge court case saying that we can live normal lives in a country like Dominica. And a lot of people say, "Hey, this is not
But
something."
you realize that our community is you could quote unquote homophobic. They're
Well,
afraid of
I,
that.
I think the entire Caribbean, not just our community. I mean, you start all the way from Jamaica all the way down to possibly, I would stop at Barbados. It's sort of homophobic. But I'm going to tell you, Matt, I think there's bigger issues for us to discuss. And really and truly, there is the freedom to express yourself the way you like. The important thing I think everybody should focus on here is as long as your right as a human being is not being trampled on, nobody is rubbing anything in your face. I think it's just fine. I mean, I have lots of employees that belong to the LGBTQ community, and I'll tell you what, I find them to be great, decent human beings. They're not, so, you can obviously find people who are flamboyant and so on and who are proud of themselves. However, most of the people are very kind, normal people, very hardworking people. And to tell you the truth, I even find some of them actually better than the normal, heterosexual human beings that we have walking around because they're just more polite, more kind, just gentle people. And I know that a lot of people just focus. I mean, I heard your show the other day, and it just focused on boggery. And I have to tell you, LGBTQ plus is a huge community. It's people that basically have different sexualities, or sometimes even no sexuality. So I don't think that
What about the biblical position?
well, obviously, Matt, we can always take a biblical position on just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to realize on one side, there's also the free thinkers that kind of think the Bible is made up to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to realize that there's a good chance you could also make an argument for the Bible is made up. And the Bible started off in Hebrew a very long time ago. It's been translated in several and changed over so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And really and truly, I think if we want to go back to loincloth, we can kind of quote the Bible. But most of the people who quote the Bible and say, hey, the Bible says this is the Bible, that's fine. Live your life that way. Everybody is
Have a choice.
entitled to individual thinking. So if you feel that the Bible is what you want to follow it. But that does not give you the right to impress that on anybody else. And we have to understand that people do have their freedoms. Some people express themselves differently. And this is really acceptance. I mean, and if you want, Matt, you could probably even go back and link it to slavery. I mean, there was a time when if you had a black skin, you were less of a person than if you had a clearer skin, and if you had the clearer your skin was, the probably more popular or the more accepted that you were.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to kind of understand that society is transitioning and we have to be prepared. So instead we sit here and we complain about all this societal issue and why we're doing this and why are the laws changing. Well, guess what? The laws have to change. The only difference with this community is that they have the money, they have the manpower, and they have the ability to change it. So I am one of the free thinkers, and I'm going to tell everybody is entitled to whatever they're thinking. And as long as something does not oppress on the way that you think or oppress on your beliefs in your space, I have to tell people, mind your own business.
So I'm hearing it from the other side, as you said. We have to accept the opinions on both sides. That
Yeah.
the other side is saying that the LGBTQ community is trying to force down their lifestyles on others.
I don't think they're trying to force anything. I do believe that they're looking for just acceptance, because for many years they've been criticized, they've been, treated hostile. So there they are trying to, sort of put their opinions or their ideas forward to say, hey, we deserve a fair chance as well. So I have a lot of, as I said, people that I employ. Some of my best employees are belong to the LGBT community, and I think we should live and let live. I think everybody deserves the right to their freedom of mind, their freedom of expression, their freedom of sexuality, the freedom of religion, and the freedom of belief. So, I tell people, yes, the laws are going to change. We have to move forward in society. If it's something that we see needs to be changed to accept the fellow human beings that we live with, I think a lot of people need to really focus on, hey, let's go ahead and fix ourselves. So if there are people that say, hey, this is my belief from the Bible, that's fine. But it doesn't have to be your neighbor's belief. You let your neighbor exist as your neighbor. And in the truth, Matt, if you really want to be a Bible thumper, and all those people who are going to call and say, the Bible, I'm going to tell you, the Bible has one of the most important lines in it. It's love thy neighbor as thyself. And the mere fact that these people are calling and say, I hate this person, or I don't like this person, or I don't want this person, or I don't want to accept this person. Let's go back to what you're talking about, the Bible. It does say in there, love thy neighbor as thyself. So if you don't love your neighbor, that means that you don't love yourself.
All right. Somebody says, and I don't know if you want to dismiss it, but somebody's sharing their opinion. The reason why these people are so polite because they want to be accepted in society, so they can come out in different format to remove that stigma that society has in them.
I don't think so. I think people generally are kind and welcoming. So, but again, whatever the reason is, needs to be evaluated on a case by case basis. And we have to do something different, Matt. We need to stop lumping people all into one category. And this is what they did a long time. Remember the saying that all black people look alike?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
all Chinese look alike.
All Chinese look alike. And it's not, they don't even call it Chinese. They call them Orientals, I mean, so people from the Orient, I mean, but we have to, if we want to move forward in certain things, and we need to start educating ourselves. And not only that, we need to be open to change. And we cannot say that we want even one thing to change and the other thing to change. We can't say we want Dominica to change, but the laws don't change. I mean, it's impossible. The laws have to change. The rules have to change. Things must change. And change is the only constant.
All right.
So
let's take a few phone calls on this one and then we'll move on. We have a lot of issues to explore. Are you there?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Mr. Jolly, you can say whatever you want. The Bible and the Creator have put it so. He have put it on. You cannot change it. Let me tell you something.
But he's not asking you to change it. If you want to believe the Bible, then you'll believe the Bible. That's his point.
Yes, Matt. But let me tell you.
Before we go, don't the Bible, as the point he was making earlier, don't the Bible tell you love thy neighbor and love thyself?
It didn't tell you love Bogaras as yourself.
No. You see, you're going down a road that we want to have a conversation, but you go down the road. There's no Bogaras in the Bible. Hello, talk to me. Hello, yes.
Yes, Mr. Kelty.
How are you?
Good afternoon, Andy.
good afternoon.
I am listening to you and speaking. Everybody, God made man and even gave man a choice. If they want to accept him, yes. If they don't want to accept him, but if you don't accept him, you're going to have a worse problem than you have. Now, I was saying, if you watch the scripture, you tell them about Bible, people in the Bible. But if you watch Psalm 19, it said the heaven declares the glory of God, and the skies proclaim the work of his hand. Day after day, they pour forth speech, and night after night, they reveal knowledge. Now, God made man for a reason, to serve him and to live for him. So, we as Christians, we do not hate. We have got no right to hate some homos. We have a right to love them, but we have a right to tell them the will of God, because the Bible tells you do not tell them.
Let me ask you a question before you continue. Of course, Andy will answer. I just want to ask a question. The Bible was written by who?
We do.
Oh, hold on. The Bible was written by who?
Hear what God says.
You continue when I'm trying to ask you a question. The Bible was written by who?
Romans. Hello?
I don't think you're listening to my question, but we'll move on. 148, hello, talk to me, yeah?
Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, okay. There are some gay guys where I work, right?
Mhm.
They don't bother me. I don't bother them.
Right.
I have no problems with them. But the problem I have is that this guy, like, he's gay. He thinks he's a woman. He got his long nails. He got his long eyelashes. He does his braids. Right. He thinks he's a woman. But my problem is, I don't bother him. He don't bother me. My problem is when I go to the toilet, what's he doing in the men's toilet? If you think you're a woman, why don't you go to a woman's toilet? Why are you doing in a men's? I don't feel comfortable with this guy in the toilet together with me. He thinks he's a woman. He don't think he's a man. So go to the women's toilet, or make them make a special toilet for gays.
Oh, boy.
Well, caller, you're right. In many countries, actually, they're moving away from actually making toilets for men and or women. Actually, the toilets are exactly freedom of expression. If you move to many of the big airports in the U.S. and many of the big airports that you'll actually go to, it literally has men's and women's restroom. You go in there, and it's freedom of to choose whichever you want. So you'll find women in the toilet, you'll find men in the toilet. I mean, so caller, here's what I want you to know, and it's the same thing that I'm saying. I think as long as nobody impresses their opinions on you, I mean, at some point in time, we have to grow as human beings, and we have to have acceptance for all. Before we chastise people for exactly how they were born, we chastise people for how they look, we chastise people for so many different faults that they have. And one of the things that we have to do as grow as human beings is learn to accept all people. We have to learn. We can't make fun of the guy who has autism anymore. We can't make fun of the guy and call them retarded or dotish or, we have to learn to accept people. And it's nice that you were born with all your faculties, but a lot of these people, this is not a lifestyle. This is not something that they woke up in the morning and said, "Let me put on because it looks good." This is the way that they are. So I think what we need to do is start focusing on ourselves. A lot of these people are really not bothering anybody. They're not engaging in anything that's bad. I'm going to tell you. And Matt, I think yesterday you had a question on gay marriage on your show as well. I'm a big fan of gay marriage.
You are.
Yes. And you know what? The gays they want to get married. Let them be as miserable as the heterosexuals. I mean, let them enjoy. I mean, everybody deserves the right to have a partner and be as miserable as you and your husband or your wife. I mean, let them enjoy themselves. So the truth is that
that's a personal choice.
That's a personal choice. And many of these people, I'm going to tell you, actually treat each other better than how most men treat their wives or how most wives treat their husbands. So I'm going to tell you, I think we need to start focusing individually.
Would you agree, though, that governments of this world are pampering to these guys because they're more affluent, they're more rich?
Well, they do have a lot of money. I'm going to tell you, they are rich and they're well off, and I'm going to tell you, they're very well educated, probably more educated than a lot of us down here. They have pride in what they do and how they do it, and they have pride in themselves. So I have to hit the Bible thumpers up that are gonna call. Please do not call this show and tell me what the Bible says, because Matt, we have so much immorality that happens on a daily basis in Dominica. We have child abuse that happens. None of the Bible thumpers call or do anything about it. We have incest that happens here very frequently in Dominica. We have, I mean, I listened to a case the other day, Matt, where the young lady got impregnated by her father, remember? In Antigua. And then had a child for her father. So she had a child which was her own sister, and then had to take her father to court to try to get child support for his own child. And I'm thinking, this is our biggest issue. I mean, we have so much mess going on. We have, every day there's a story about some sort of incest. We have people who go to the police station and report it, and guess what? Nothing gets done. The children still end up in these compromising situations. So I have to tell the Bible thumpers, Let charity begin at home. And we need to start working on ourselves as people. We need to work on the other injustices that are going on before you call and say, hey, the gays. I think the gays, let you want to be gay. That is your opinion. That is your lifestyle. That is how you were born. I think you should be free and you're willing to go ahead and do as you please,
Express
as
yourself.
express yourself, as long as you don't trample on the rights of anybody else. They are deserving of that right to live and let live.
Dominica, we've heard Andy giving his piece on the historic judgment in the courts. Somebody says, I agree with Andy and feel that those opposed to this ruling want to push their religious beliefs on me. Bible was written by men and not God. That's one opinion. That's my point. Somebody saying Andy's educated. He shares my exact sentiments. Sharing is me. Bible don'ts and do's. Don't homosexuality. I'll have to review that one. Let's take a few phone calls. It's before 6 before the hour of 2. Hello, are you there? Yes, you're back.
You and Mr. Andy can try to promote what all you want.
We're not promoting anything. We're accepting different opinions. If you have one opinion, somebody else might have another. So it's just a difference of opinion. And of course, we like to promote that kind of discussion. You might have your opinion, somebody else might have another one.
Yeah.
We have to agree to disagree. Hello, talk to me, yes? That's my style. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
There are some people that like to quote the Bible and quote it anyhow. In what context when you say love the neighbor as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I say wrong is wrong, right? And if you have a friend or neighbor and you see they're doing something wrong, are you going to condone the wrong? No, you are going to tell them it is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about, people deserve their rights, and I don't believe in that. And you see, when they say, like, the government should not do nothing about it and we should listen to the Father, anybody that condone stuff there, which I believe is not sin it, I believe that they should be good. Wrong is wrong, and we should not condone it.
All right.
Well, caller, here's the thing, though. I want to ask you a simple question, and I want you to take some time and sit down in your closet and think about this simple question. Who are you to determine what's wrong or right? And once you start doing that, then you have what they call a supremacy complex, simply because this is the same way we ended up in slavery. I mean, this is the same thing that starts wars, that one person believes that they're right over another. This is why we have a Ukraine war today. It's because Russia believed that they're right. And this is why we almost had a war in Guyana and Venezuela. It's because one person thought they were wrong and one person thought they were right, So we have to start looking at these things where we as human beings take it upon ourselves to decide what our neighbor is doing is wrong versus right. So we do have laws of the land that we have to obey, of course. But you are not in a position to start deciding what's good and right for your neighbor. People can share different beliefs. It's the same way, Matt, we have religion here. Dominica has a population that's primarily Catholic. What if we took our discussion and brought it on to somewhere like India, where people actually believe in Buddha instead, or the Hinduism is big and bold over there? What if we take it to a different religion? That's not available in Dominica. You have to understand that we are products of our society. So because you were taught that, that's why you're repeating it. But remember, caller, if you were raised somewhere else, you would be a totally different person. So don't shortchange yourself and think to yourself, hey, I was born in Dominica. The only thing I know is Catholic religion, and that's the only thing I should be. Try to think of yourself on a global market. Try to think of yourself being born in India, maybe being born somewhere in the US, maybe being born somewhere in the UK, maybe being born in Afghanistan, or maybe even being born in Israel or Iran, or one of those other places where there's several different religions. and that have different religious beliefs. So keep this in mind, caller, as you go through life. Your job is not to decide what's good for your neighbor. Your job is to decide what's good and healthy for yourself. And if all of us have that mentality where we are going to put ourselves first and take care of ourselves, then the world would be perfect. But the world becomes disgusting when one person thinks that they're right or their ideas are right and everybody else is wrong. And that's what you define as a crazy person.
All right. Thank you very much on the telephone. We're going to take a few more calls on this one because this is boiling hot this afternoon. Hello, talk to me, yeah?
Mark?
Yeah, I'm
Mark,
here.
good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, Mark.
Good afternoon to you.
Mark, very interesting on this course, but I have a question for your guest in studio. Mr. Jolly, are you there?
He's right here.
Yes, I'm right here.
He's not running
Yes,
anything.
No, not
Mr. Jolly,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you a question. If to say like you for example operate in a bakery where you do pastries and stuff like that, and then two gay people come to you and ask you they need a cake. They want you to they're gonna get married and they want a cake. Would you allow your bakery to do that, Mr. Jolly?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, I anytime I do business doesn't conduct business via what your sexuality is. So I'm going to tell you, you probably shouldn't be in business. Business conducts business via, do you have money, sir? How much can you pay me? I'll be happy to do that for you. So you have to, it's almost like, okay, let's say you're selling deodorants and you come to it and you say, I'm not going to sell to the gay guy. I'll let him smell versus you cannot conduct business. And the same thing, I want you to think of this, caller. How many people from the Catholic Church come in and say, hey, I want you to make me a cake and put a cross on it? What if you don't believe in God? What if you're an atheist? And then the other people might come in and say, hey, bake me a cake and I want you to put some other symbol on it. Guess what? What if, maybe they put the old Hitler symbol on it? What do you do? So the whole idea is, if you're in business and you set your parameters very clear and you said, this is what I won't do and this is what I will do, keep in mind that is your personal opinion and your personal judgment. But again, caller, if somebody came to me and wanted to get a cake in this day and age, I'll tell you what, I'll bake you any cake. You might have to charge a little bit extra, but swallow your pride, caller, and take the money, because at the end of the month, the bank is looking for the money.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me.
A blessed and peaceful afternoon to you and your guests and all the listeners.
All right, okay. All right.
One question I have for Mr. Jolly.
Okay.
Please, if your father is a man and your mother is a man, where the hell would you be to talking that crap you are talking this afternoon?
Well, I'm going to tell you, caller, again, like I said, you have to keep in mind that the world is moving ahead, and different people have different perspectives. And it's really not what you are experiencing as a person today. Everybody experiences something different. Matt, one of the biggest groups in the LGBT community, and a lot of people are not educated to that, is what they call non-binary. So basically, these people are just not attached to anything. I have friends in the LGBT community, man, and they are attached to, for instance, let's say, let it be a thing. So you can actually be in the LGBT community and say, hey, let's say this Mike is considered my boyfriend. And for the rest of my life, as long as I have the mic with me, I'm happy. So you have people with all these different opinions. Then you have people, obviously, who bi, and you have people who have different ideas, and you have people who come out as transvestites, and you have people who change over their sexuality. So you have a really big group of people. So
would you're strong on your points, Andy. Admittedly, would you support a group that may get involved, as we say, because everybody seems to have something to do, bestiality?
Well, Matt, here's the thing. It has all these different groups in the work, including the bestiality. I probably wouldn't go for that. That is not probably what I would support as a person. But Matt, what if the group that supported bestiality was going to be the next freedom fighters for who knows the rest of the world? And if it's an idea that I think is worthwhile, let's say they were going to...
But for now, you don't support.
Well, again, I don't know the group. and I don't know what their opinions are, and I don't even know if they're fighting for. But Matt, I'm going to tell you, people always go to the extremes, and what we need to do as human beings is we have to look at what we personally support, and then you can put your support behind other groups that share your opinions. But again, what people do in their own bedrooms and in their own lives, I have to say that only has to do with them. You can have chains and whips in your bedroom, and I'm fine with that. I'm probably not going to go in your bedroom. You understand? But guess what? There are people like that, and we have to learn to accept all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to say, hey, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. That is not our place. Really and truly, we need to focus on ourselves and our beliefs. And Matt, when it comes down to everything, what makes something right versus what makes something wrong these days?
Some pastor, I wouldn't call his name for now.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you just defeated your own argument.
Mm-hmm.
He has made himself right, and his words, the Bible thumpers, are wrong. His value system has taught him one thing, and he now decides that those who think differently are wrong. By the way, the world is not moving ahead, it's moving into deep chaos.
But how do we know what chaos feels like? We've never been here before. This is the first time that we're living. I mean, when you woke up this morning, did you know what was going to happen today? None of us did. So again, we are living for changing times. We're living for things. Now, again, some people might call it chaos, but that's just an opinion. You have to understand, for some people woke up this morning, Matt, and this was the best world ever. I bet you if you woke up this morning, Matt, and you came out of surgery, the doctor said you had, the best chance of living for the rest of your life, and the surgery worked out great. You had a near-death experience, but now you have a whole new life. Today would have been the best day for you. So everybody has an opinion of what the day looks like. So again, live and let live. If we want to go back to the Bible and we want to stress all the things that the Bible can do, Matt, here's my opinion for all the Bible thumpers out there. Let's start on the first page because we have a lot of other material to cover before we get here. Let's not be hypocrites and go to the page that we like. Let's start on the front page and read through the Bible and highlight all the changes we need to do. We cannot just turn to page 101 and say, here's where we should start, because this is what's important. Let's really examine the Bible, because there's a lot of other things that are in the Bible, not just this alone, that we don't pay attention to. The Bible says no cursing, we curse. The Bible says thou shalt not, fornicate, we fornicate excessively. It should not covet thy neighbor's wife. Guess what? The Bible says love and marriage. We have more single mothers than anything else. We have more things happening here. So let's not start on the first page. Let's not be hypocrites. Let's take the Bible one page at a time.
In your assessment, somebody's asking, have Dominicans been known to be discriminatory against the oppression of gays? And Matt, the Constitution recognizes the supremacy of God. Could you ask Mr. Jolly on the tenets of that God?
That's an interesting question. I don't have an answer for that. I apologize, caller. But what was the first question? The first question was the second one.
Do we know? Or do you know that we have been?
I don't think we've been discriminatory to anybody, and I will take that again on a personal opinion. We cannot say we as a whole have been discriminatory, but I will tell you that there are people that are. And there are people, obviously, we've heard some of the callers that have strong opinions about the life that they feel that their neighbors should live or other people should live. I have to tell those people, you know what? Mind your own business. You focus on yourself, focus on your kids, but we can't start casting people out. One of the toughest things I ever had to see, Matt, was somebody and this was a friend of mine who had the same ideas as many of these callers, right? And they made a couple kids and they found out one of their kids were gay. And they had the toughest time in the world dealing with it. What happens when you find out your brother or your sister or your kid belongs to the LGBT community? What do? You cast that person out? What do? You stop talking to them? Just because they're different or just because they have different ideas? I mean, are we that sort of people? all the Bible people that call and say, hey, what happens when your son shows up and say, hey, mom, I want you to meet my husband? What do? You start beating on his forehead? I mean, people need to grow up and recognize. And this is the thing that we've done for many years. We've put our head in the sand and say it doesn't exist. Well, the truth about it is that it does. And this has just brought the recognition to the top.
If I continue taking phone calls, I won't stop. Tell you what, I'll give you 7 more minutes on that subject before we move on. Somebody says, and their question, how can one not justify what is wrong or right? So I can just walk into Jolly's, pull my card, and walk out, and no one can tell me anything?
Well, I'm probably not going to answer that simply because, I mean, but here's the thing, Matt. It says clearly in the Bible, you should not steal from your brother and sister. So that would be stealing, right? Now, exchange is no robbery, as it said so many times over and over again. So that person obviously has not read a book in the Bible. So I'm not even going to justify.
The 10 Commandments.
It says, do not steal. It says, at the end of the day, if a man borrows you his jacket, you give him back his jacket. You don't take it from him, and you always give your brother equal exchange. So if you know a man, for instance, if you know you bring chickens for the man, right? And he gives you probably breadfruit in exchange. If you know he cannot use chickens, why did you bring him chickens? So again, we have to understand each other. And I think more of life comes from personal understanding of our individual brothers and sisters.
It's 9 past 2. I said we're going until 2:15 with this one, huh? Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon, Mr. Jolly.
Yes.
The same set of people that will be telling you about buggery and that shouldn't happen and that is this and that is wrong. The same set of people that will be telling you we have a government rape in the country. A lot of our money disappear. Starboy stupidity living a $68,000 house rent. They will tell you, oh, he working hard. He can have it. But the same set of people that be quoting Bible for you. How many of us in that world living up to the 10 Commandments? I would like to know. Plenty. We are not living up to the 10 Commandments. So many things the Bible tells us not to do. We shouldn't steal. We shouldn't fornicate. We shouldn't commit adultery. We shouldn't take our neighbor husband. We shouldn't take our neighbor boyfriend. We shouldn't take a lot of things we shouldn't do. And we damn well doing it. Bible. Give me a break. Bye-bye.
All right, hello.
Well, definitely, Matt. You know, and you know, Matt, I think the caller raised a very good point because, you know, one of the things, Matt, I know I read the Bible. As you know, Matt, I'm an old school SMA boy. And for those of you who don't know SMA, it's a religious school, of course. And I've spent quite a bit. I actually did religion in school. Remember when they taught religion in class?
We did it as an exam.
We did as an exam, exactly. But Matt, it says clearly in the Bible, who is not guilty, let him throw the first stone. So why are we throwing stones at our brothers and sisters when we ourselves have so much guilt to deal with? We have things personally that we can spend time working on. And I don't want people to sit here and go casting stones when they themselves are guilty. So I think, brothers and sisters, we really have to wake up and say, which of us out there is without sin? Then you go for cast stones. I mean, so the Bible thumpers out there, I said, good luck to you guys, because the Bible is a very big book. And there's several chapters in there that you should probably spend more time reading before we start to quote and try to attack people for their beliefs and their understanding.
But I see you have been handling the attacks very well.
Oh, it's not a problem. As I said, you know, Matt, I'm a free thinker. So I think there's a lot of people who have closed minds still, and a lot of people who think that things are a little bit different based on what they've seen on TV, based on rumors that they've heard. And Dominica, I'm going to tell you, Matt, is one of the countries that's full of misinformation. And what we have to do is we have to separate the meat from the bone. And that's what we're doing here. We're saying, hey, guys, start separating the meat from the bone. Figure out what's meat that you can chew and swallow and figure out what the bone is, and you're going to put outside, because we need to start taking care of our individual mindset. And not only that, we need to be more welcoming to our brothers and sisters, whoever they are, and stop judging people based on religion, political orientation, sexual orientation, financial orientation, or any other orientation. We need to start loving each other again and accept each other for what they are. We all have faults, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm sitting here right now. I see a therapist probably once or twice a week. So I'm going to tell you, I am not without fault. So if anybody throwing stones over here,
and
be
there,
me.
there are a lot of people who we have loved yesterday that because of your viewpoint might
Yeah.
change. That might change.
Well, it might change, but again, I'm not here casting stones, because I'm going to tell you, I got my own fault. I have a list of faults. So if anybody feels like they can help me with some of mine, come forward. I will willingly accept any help that I can get.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back after this.
Eaststar Trading Limited has a new modern and upgraded look and layout for the shopping comfort and convenience of our many customers. Please visit us and let us celebrate Mother's Day in a big way from today until 12 May 2024. Come and enjoy great savings. Get a chance to win one of our many prizes. First prize, $300 voucher. Second prize, $200 voucher. 10 vouchers of $100 each. Spend $50 or more to enter the draw. Buy $100 or more and get a bottle of Banks Cherry Brandy or Banks Ginger Wine absolutely free. And check out our many specials, including Clio baked beans, 2 for only $7.90, and olives now only $6.95. Condensed tomato soup now $4.50. 15-ounce pigeon peas now only $4.50. Cream styled golden corn only $3.95. 29-ounce whole peel tomatoes only $4.50. Also, a large range of cosmetics at reduced prices. Shop and save at Eaststar Trading Limited. Eaststar Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
MCCU motion. We there for you. Motion. MCCU motion. We there with you. Motion. MCCU motion. You and you and you. Motion. We there with you. Motion. Community in motion. NCCU community in motion. Partnering with our members, supporting the community economy, advising, teaching, bettering the way of life, one community at a time. Enjoying what our community members love.
Calling Vegas, Penville, Baybush, and Tebow. In fact, the entire North. NCCU Northside T10 Cricket Craze is coming your way. Sunday, April 28th, 10 a.m. at the Vegas playing field. See you there.
Oh, beautiful.
Call him.
NCCU motion. You and you and you. Motion. We there with you. Motion. Community in motion.
Someone says, thank you, Mr. Jolly. Always on point. Kudos to you for your positive debate. Same here, my friend. Let's start loving and respecting each other's views. That's what I was saying earlier. We can agree to disagree.
You should.
That's my view.
And not only that, Matt, healthy conversation is good. Just because you feel the answer is yes and I feel the answer is no, that doesn't make us enemies.
We should not be enemies.
In fact, it's good that your point comes across, because guess what? Some of your ideas might cross over and some of my ideas might cross over to you. So it's an idea, and somewhere along the middle we can meet. There's a lot of people who just want the yeses or the nos. And I'm going to tell you, there's very few questions that can be asked today that the actual answer is yes or the actual answer is no. There's very few of them. I mean, if you get one did the sun come out today, Matt? Well, the truth is that the sun was probably out already. But did you see the sun? Well, yeah, we saw the sun, but we also saw the clouds, and we had a little drizzle, and we didn't have. I mean, there's very few answers that are just white and black these days. We have to understand that there's points in the middle that we have to understand, but we can't go left wing or right wing on everything.
I think it's one of we have to shift. We have had a discussions for the week on the health system, not specifically just what happened on the weekend. Your take on the health system. You are in that system yourself. You operate as a pharmacist.
I do, and I think the system needs quite a bit of work. I think what happens to most of all, I'm a systems person, so I believe in systems. That's how I grew up. I understand them very, very well. I could probably create a system for just about anything, but man, our system is really not complete here. I think we've spent a lot of time on the hardware, which is like the hospitals, maybe the health centers, but we haven't spent enough time on probably the software, which is the training of the people and the individual needs of that building. We have problems in Dominica with one thing, and I'm going to tell everybody what the one thing is. It's creating good, healthy standards that everybody will follow. It's almost like we walk into Dominica and we tell everybody, build your house facing west. I'm going to tell you, Matt, probably 10% of the people will actually follow that rule. We have a problem creating good standards that people can understand, standards people will follow, really procedures. And I think we've run away a lot of our good medical people as well. Our medical staff is not as well trained as it used to be probably about 10, 20 years ago. We don't have.
Why you think so?
Well, we
have moved up in technology.
We've moved up in technology, but we've gone down in training. We haven't invested enough into our nurses and into our doctors. I mean, I'm going to tell you, Matt, I think it's still unfair what nurses get paid. I think doctors, I've met doctors that have left here. You know why they left here? Because the day before their contract expires, they don't have a new contract. So we've really pushed those people away to more secure systems and systems that appreciate them. I'm going to put it that way, because not that our system is bad, but our system doesn't show appreciation for people. It leaves you hanging. Just like right now, in the teaching system, we have a lot of people who are acting. Why not get those people, set up and get those people really in place and give them good, secure feeling about what they're doing. So we've left a lot of people hanging financially. I think we've not paid them what they can make, because they can make a lot of money elsewhere. We've not trained them excessively. We've not spent enough time on our training. And Matt, I think the last point I probably want to raise is that we've gotten offers for a lot of help, and we've refused them over and over and over again. Over and over again, I've heard that I would like to help Dominica. I would like to help train our people. I'd like to help educate our people. And Matt, we've turned them down. We've literally flat out turned down people in their face and said, "I don't want your help." So we've set ourselves up for some sort of failure.
If, for example, Andy, you had to meet with the health minister in terms of priorities for the health system, what do you say to him?
Let's take a total look and revamp everything. We have to start from scratch. We have to start for who's practicing healthcare, what their standard or their scope of practice is. We have to start with making sure we can fund the healthcare. That's a very important thing. I mean, you don't want to have a hospital and the hospital's running out of things. I mean,
you go to the hospital, you know how to buy your medicine.
You shouldn't have to. Maybe there are some selected people that should buy things. Maybe, like, let's say they say, hey, people who make as much as Matt don't cannot use the services. They have to pay. But we have to draw the line to who can and who can't, or provide some sort of assistance for the people who can't. And I think part of it too is that we have to try to create a fair healthcare system. What you find in our healthcare system as well is the people who can do better than the people who have not. And that's not a good healthcare system. Everybody, if you get a heart attack, man, and I have a heart attack, we both should get the exact same care, same level of care. But it's almost like there's a belief that, hey, you don't matter as much because probably you don't have as much, or you can't afford as much, And our healthcare system is a burden. We should possibly look into some sort of national insurance for all our people. I mean, lots of places in the world the entire country is mandated to have insurance. And that's good because guess what, man? When you get sick, we don't want you to have to sell your house to pay for whatever it is at
So
the
you
hospital.
would support national insurance?
I would support national insurance. I think Matt, we in Dominica have not put national insurance in place for anything except vehicles. You know that? Like your house. You don't have to have insurance for your house if you own your house. You don't have to have insurance. It's only if you have a mortgage that they force you to put insurance. In fact, there's a lot of other things you don't have to. You don't even have to have insurance for your business.
Or life insurance.
Or you don't even have to have life insurance. So what it does, every time something happens to somebody, it puts a burden on the society. So we need to mandate insurance for those things. Why do we mandate insurance for vehicles, which are, $30,000, but you don't mandate insurance for Matt? The replacement cost for Matt is in the what? In the millions. I mean, if they had to replace you today, I mean, there's not enough money to put together to get another Matt on the station, right? So we need to kind of look at our priorities and see what we need to prioritize. We need to make sure all civil servants have mandatory insurance. We need to make sure the private sector has mandatory insurance. We need to make sure every citizen of Dominica has some sort of insurance to make sure that our society is protected and can grow without incident or accident. Even our houses as well. You know how many people rush to put hurricane insurance on their houses when a hurricane season come along? But you know how many people also don't have insurance on their houses?
Don't have full insurance.
They don't. We have a lot. After Hurricane Maria, there were several houses that just couldn't be rebuilt because the people didn't care. We had hotels that couldn't be rebuilt because those hotels did. Which hotel doesn't have insurance?
And some insurance companies, as a matter of fact, fell short. They fell short.
Well, yeah, they fell short. But
because
again,
there was no reinsurance.
But again, Matt, that has to do with the standards that we have. So the same thing for our healthcare system. We need to put concrete standards. And to make those standards up, Matt, I don't think anybody needs to sit down and make them up. They're made up already. Several of the other islands already do that. You go down to islands like Barbados, Trinidad. Most of these islands have those systems in place already.
Let's talk and go to. We have many other issues to explore. Traffic in Rose Island is a very,
oh my God,
very, very serious problem.
I don't know how everybody deals with traffic in Roseau. It causes such anxiety. And Matt, I could probably fix it if you gave me $5. $5 is all I'm asking for to fix the traffic in Roseau. $5, not much. EC dollars.
Do we need traffic police?
We don't need traffic police. But here's what we do need, Matt. We need vigilant people who are in places that can ensure that the rules are followed. I'm pretty sure we have some decent traffic rules. And I'm pretty sure that they get violated on a daily, in fact, not even a daily, a minute by minute basis. But Matt, I'm going to just play an example out of this book. Why don't we do this? This is just an example, and I want you to run this picture through your head. What if we had to decide in Roseau that we were going to park all the cars, possibly on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side? Nothing would be parked on the other side. That would simply solve all our traffic problem. The problem we have in Roseau is that people park on both sides of the road. Half the back of the vehicle is sticking out. It's very hard to pass. It's very hard to walk. At least all we had to do to fix Roseau instantly, we could do this tomorrow, is decide every vehicle that's going to be parked in Roseau is going to be parked on the right-hand side of the road. There will be no vehicles parked on the left-hand side. You know where they do that, Matt? They do that in the French countries. Go to Martinique or go to Guadeloupe. They mandate that. They literally show it on the map. And if anybody parks on the other side, that vehicle is removed or that vehicle is ticketed. Just one side of the road. And then leave the other side for people to pass, transportation to move through. And it will allow amazing movement. We cannot have this sort of slowdown constantly if we want to be a bustling city.
Should we block the roads, especially on the bayfront during the tourist season?
I don't know if that helps or if that hinders. That's a very mixed bag. I'm going to tell you, Matt, I've constantly said this, that Roseau is too small for tourists. In fact, just think of it. If we had to dump 5 to 10,000 people in Roseau. Do you think we could possibly handle it? I mean, most of the boats that come here probably dump 1,000, 2,000 people at a time. I don't think we can handle it. I mean, Roseau is just too small. So we have to figure out other areas. But Matt, you know what? If you give me enough money, you know what I'll do? I'll build you a cruise ship village.
Where?
You know what I'll do? I'm going to tell you. This is just me as a free thinker. Matt, we have the Roseau Market. If you really wanted that space, all I would do with that space is very simple. You break down all those walls over there, you put up a large steel frame structure. You could get all the vendors that are on the bayfront underneath that space. You take up the entire market block. Now, the way that we have it built, we have a small concrete structure and a big outdoor structure. No, cover the entire thing up with a huge steel frame from riverfront all the way back to the road that's there on the waterfront. Give the vendors a lot of space. All the vendors can go down there. The people from the cruise ships can gladly walk down the aisle right down to the marketplace. Pretty simple. Easy structure to put up. It's a steel frame building. It will take no time at all. You can put it up. I can put up a steel frame building in 6 months. You take a caterpillar and just clean the new market down. Just clean it down to whatever it is. There'll be no roads in there from wall to wall. All there will be is a gigantic structure with places that vendors can use. Vendors can go ahead and set up. Have the tourists walk down that way. Create some sort of busing system that can get them
the
there.
vending arcade that we have that doesn't make any sense at this time.
Well, Matt,
ISO?
forget about ISO. Well, here's the thing: we're not talking about our personal feelings on how things look, because things look different to everybody. Remember, I told you last time. Sometimes things look okay to some people, but here's what I'm going to tell you: as a practicality method, this doesn't work for our traffic. It does nothing good for us. I mean, Roseau has very few streets. Closing one road in Roseau is enough to compile Roseau significant. Just one road. You just have to close one road, and it doesn't even have to be an important road in Roseau, and it can create severe. I'm talking about severe traffic congestion.
Where will you put a cruise ship terminal?
Right there on the Roseau Market. Put it right there. Put everything you want right there. There's enough space in there. That market spot. There's enough space in there to put a big old terminal. They get them down there, and you can move them around from over there, because that we need to get people out of Roseau a little bit. It's too congested.
What about the Canefield Airport? Some people are suggesting.
Well, again, there's different ideas. We do have that. I mean, again, are we willing to make the structural developments for that? Are we willing to spend the money on that? I mean, Canefield is a beautiful place. There's a very wide area there. But Matt, again, we are working in the city. Here we are working. This is our livelihood. We cannot allow other people to come in and inhibit people's livelihood, even though somebody else is going to make a livelihood. But the people who are working on an 8 to 4, 8 to 5 basis here need to be able to move around and need to be able to conduct business as usual. This does not happen currently.
So we need a bus terminal.
We need a bus terminal. Oh boy, we need. You know, how many bus stops do we have in Roseau, man? Have you ever counted? No, just give me a number. Give me a number. How many bus stops do you?
We can start. We have about 3 in that area. We have Lubia, we have Point Michel, we have Soufriere.
We have Wallhouse, Lubia. Yeah, we have Grand Bay over there.
Right there.
Grand Bay is there.
We have,
you know, I actually had some visitors in. I was mentioning to you, and you know what they told me? They told me there's so many bus stops in Roseau, and none of them are labeled. And if they had to find a bus, they would be lost.
Some of them are.
A couple of them are. But here's the thing, Matt. The only way, just pretend like you came to Dominica out of the blue, and you needed to find a bus to move around. Let's say you were moving around via bus. Not everybody can afford a rental. I know the stigma is that, hey, as long as you're a tourist, you should have a rental, right? But think of people who are moving around via bus. Imagine the chaos that happens in their mind when they have to take a bus. I had a young lady who visited recently, and she lived at Casa Comfort to take the bus, and she said, I want to go see a couple places. She wanted to go see Castaways or Mero Beach, because she said, I want to put my foot in the sand over there.
Right.
And I didn't know where the bus terminal for Mero Beach was. I had no clue which bus would go to Mero Beach. You know, I mean,
You have to take the Salisbury bus.
and the most I could ask her was, well, go down and just go ask everybody down there. And I hate to say this, I live here half the time, and I asked a few other people, and nobody knew which bus to take to go to Mero.
Salisbury bus.
Well, thanks for telling me that. I didn't, and I still have. Thanks, I just found that out. So again, thanks for educating me, because again, if we want people to move around, whether it be they want to go to Scott's Head, they want to go to Salisbury, or they want to go to Mero, or they want to go visit Portsmouth, I think those things have to be clearly
So again,
labeled.
coming back to the point, a bus terminal is what
We need a bus terminal where you can say, take the bus, go to the bus terminal. There's clear set directions. You will see the section for the Portsmouth bus. You will see the section for the Soufriere bus. I think if we want to really start talking tourism, this is something that we can do. That is easy. And I think if we wanted to get rid of, we would kill two birds with one stone, get rid of some of the traffic congestion in Roseau, we'd get all the buses out of.
But I think some of it has to do with regulation. We have too many buses for one route sometimes.
We do have, and not only that, Matt, we don't have buses when we need them sometimes. Right. So how do we fix that? So there, I mean, we have what they call traffic police, and I can't understand that. Who's working on making sure that when I leave work at 7 o'clock, I can get a bus right away? Nobody. However, if I go there at 9, 10, 11 in the morning, there's 6 buses on the bus stop. And I think the bus drivers do a good job, but it's just that I think what we need to do, if we have to develop Dominica, we need some sort of regulation for mass transit in Dominica. I mean, the bus drivers have been kind of doing it on their own, and they've been trying to figure out, hey, when I should work, when I should not work. But we should have a regulation. Hey, there's 2 buses on the bus that leave every half an hour. Whether your half an hour is up or not, or you're full, you need to leave.
Would you implement tickets in terms of parking tickets?
Well, I think before we go to parking tickets, we need to invent regulations. And if we have those regulations, I think we now need to notify everybody. And after we notify everybody, then we have to start to form some sort of method to follow the regulations, which is probably ticketed. So yes.
There are so many issues to explore. Every time my friend Andy is in the studios, a free thinker, I call him, you know? It's 2:35. Let's take a few phone calls because we're going to wrap it up at 3. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Earlier on, the gentleman said, who are you to decide what is wrong or right? Right? The good book, he said something is very true. Wrong is wrong. But the good book tells us what is wrong and what is right.
Mm-hmm.
And Syria destroyed a whole city, Sodom and Gomorrah, for this not finished. You know, man with man and woman with woman. He destroyed the whole city. And if, especially the pastors and whosoever, you know, they call themselves out, they need to go out. And if they see something is wrong, once they know they are living their life right, because you cannot be living your life wrong and then go and talk about something. So if they know they are living their life right and they see wrong things are happening, it is their duty to go out and talk about it.
All right, let me allow Andrew to answer your question.
Well, caller, I want to tell you there's lots of stories in the Bible, and it's nice that you mentioned the one with Sodom and Gomorrah, but you know what? I haven't met anybody alive that knows if the story is true. And I don't think you have any factual basis for the story, but it's a good story. And there's lots of stories in the Bible, Matt. And we have to understand, we tell stories so that people can understand life. Maybe it was a different way back then, but we cannot live our life and go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, that is, if you're thinking that way, caller, you might as well take off your clothes and get some loincloth. I mean, walk around the road with loincloth again. So, caller, it's nice to know those stories, but none of those stories, nothing, not even the Bible, has been proven as a factual book.
Are you the caller?
You're saying a lot of stuff to justify yourself. And what I'm saying, I'm not surprised what are going on in this world today, because the book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20 says, they will call good evil and they will call evil good. So that's what how the world comes.
Well, again, caller, it's keep in mind the Bible is just a good book. It's a good reference book. And not that I'm knocking on what the Bible says. As I said, there's a lot of things that the Bible said that are just and just fair as to how we should live and how we should treat each other. But I don't think, caller, that you should go ahead and quote all those Bible stories. These are things that happened probably a very long time ago. And not only that, the Bible is actually somebody's opinion put on paper as to how they saw whatever the activities or the situation that they saw. It really is a recollection of a human being just like us.
Inspired by God, they say.
There's
Hello, talk
God.
to me. Hello,
Matt,
I'm here.
before I go to my point, I just want to say that there's definitely that part about the image of Christ that we know. That one there, I know that one is not real. That one is fake. The Europeans present that one to us. So I'm not going to go any further than that. But when they change the image of Christ and make him a black man, I will start to listen. But Matt, that's not why I call. Mr. Jolly, what are you going to do with the people from the market when you take it for a tourism site? Or the whatever you called it.
Well, caller, what I was saying is not get rid of the people from the market. I was saying make it a huge structure. So not take away the market. You need to the market as it is needs to be upgraded, Matt. The market cannot handle the amount of commerce and transact. It's very inefficiently put together. That building is so small, it's so hot, it's so crowded in there. I mean, what if we were to make something really nice? Just a big steel frame structure that's open. I mean, they've made them in St. Lucia, they've made them in Martinique. You go down to Antigua, you can find a huge public market with people. But I'm not asking you to move the people. I'm asking you to move them temporarily so you could put down a nice structure that has toilets, that is tiled, that is welcoming. You have to understand, we're here at the market selling things. We need to present those things, not just nicely presented packaging, but we have to present them in a nice space as well. I mean, we need to give those people something nice. So the people in the market would have space, the vendors would have space, the street vendors that are in front of every business place in Roseau would have space where they can sell their products. Not only that, Matt, I'm going to tell you something. When I'm looking for something, wouldn't it be nice to know if you went to the market that you could get it, or a possibility that there were 10 vendors there who might have it? So put everything in one space. Let's stop scattering everything around the city. Let's take out all the bus stops in Roseau. Let's put them in one place. Let's take out all the vendors in Roseau. Let's put them all in one place. But let's give them a nice structure. The age of building structures is here. We can build structures very easily. We don't need to build a big air conditioned place. But what we need to do is take that space and make it more efficient. So I'm really not asking you, caller, to get rid of the people in the market, but I will tell you that we have to make room for some development.
All right, let's go back to the telephone at this time, 240. Somebody just jokingly, I mean, they're asking the question. So I'll ask on their behalf. With all the points, the different points that Andy is expressing here this afternoon, somebody's asking, is he gay?
Well, Matt, I will tell you though. I will tell you. And I'm gonna tell this joke on here just because I think the people need to know, right? I actually would contemplate going gay after I got divorced from my ex-wife. I had such a horrible divorce, Matt. I actually contemplated it, and that is something. I'll tell you what you have to consider. And here's the thing, Matt. You have to understand the whole gay population. Most people don't, as I said, they're uneducated. They don't understand this.
Right.
But here it is, Matt, that you could possibly find somebody, right, as a man or as a woman, who is equal to you, who understands your feelings, your thoughts, your aspirations, and who treats you as an equal. A lot of the problem with men and women is that men have testosterone, women have estrogen sometimes, and those two items conflict. But here it is that you have two people who are equally yoked, sort of, if you want to put it that way, or equally gauged this way, where they're making the same income. Not only that, they're enjoying the same things, And I even had one of my friends say once, I asked my wife, what do you want to go out to eat? And she says, well, I don't know. And he said, well, do you like steak and lobster? And she said, I don't know. I don't know what I feel like. And he asked a few different questions. And finally, he said, "Man, if I was gay, here's what I would do. Hey, you want to go out for a burger and a beer? Yes, done." And that would have been it. So you do have that sort of image that's out there that when we go through tragedy sometime, these are thoughts that come to our mind. Hey, if I had somebody just like me, I wouldn't have to go through this situation. So I am here to tell you, keep your mind open and continue to think free on that topic.
Oh boy, 243. Free thinker Andy Jolly. Don't take it personally. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes? Hello. Are you there? Caller? Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Mr. Jordan is too smart.
He's too smart?
He's too smart. I think he's an atheist, and I think he's a bugger man.
You see the personal attacks. So let's stop the personal attacks. I mean, let's have a conversation. Hello, talk to me. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Somebody has a different opinion than you. They describe you so many things. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Yeah. Are you there?
No public minister, no public minister, Boga.
Oh boy, Dominica is a strange place. 244. Yes.
Yes, my brother.
How you doing, sir?
Well, I've been listening, and Mr. Jolly,
Yes.
I'm being straightforward to the point. I don't know how people want to take it. He never say gay, You see, he thought of being under the pressure he was with a woman. Now, I myself never.
You were under that pressure, though.
My brother, behave yourself. Leave me alone, Matt. Let me speak. You like to do me that, and then your finger come in. No, I myself wasn't in that position thinking of gay. What I thinking of is like I just don't want to see a woman, man, because I cannot understand when you do marry how you just be so nice, and when you get married as if before they see what they see, I don't know what that reason in their brain. So, Mr. Jolly, I congratulate you for being straightforward when the person asks you what they ask you, and you see how you answer them, keep thinking of what they keep thinking about. But I want to applaud you again, my brother, for being on the radio station and being straightforward into points after points. So, Mr. Jolly, I want you to try to work with Mr. Scary. Call him. Give him some ideas. And if you don't want to take the ideas that you coming up with, call Matt. Let Matt know what is going on. Because it's two people that I really see that would do better for us in the country, that their father leave a little 25 cents for them and things going good for the poor people. So I want to wish you good white people talking about what they're talking about. And Dominicans, don't get vexed. We ain't about legalize gay and those kind of things. All we have to do is don't put ourselves in the gay business. But the whole structure
it's
of
a choice.
the football, all including my brother, the football all you enjoying, the basketball, everything all you enjoying. Just remember, when you do the Arsenals and this and that is gays that run in all the clubs. So put all your gays t-shirts on top of it. Arsenal, this, that, Liverpool, this, that. You know what I mean? And that's it. Matt, play the clipping of the white man.
All right, caller. Thank you. Matt, it's simple. Somebody's saying here, I think that Dominica living in France. Dominica needs a driving code. Just as there is a billing code, we need one to manage traffic, somebody's saying. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. We do need some help, and I appreciate all the callers' comments, So, but I will speak my mind honestly, Matt. It happens, I'll tell you what happened, Matt. This is the God honest truth. I mean, most people will laugh at this, but we say this jokingly. I was on the lake with my yacht, and I have a 50-foot yacht, so I mean I'm feeling good about myself, And there's this huge party on the other side, So I'm like, I'm gonna go check out the party on the lake because God, there's probably about 30 boats tied up to this party easily, right? And here I am, on the other side. So I go check out the party, and I didn't know it was the LGBT community having a party. man, and I got a 50-foot yacht. That's very impressive.
Yes.
I mean, this thing has, 2 staterooms, two heads. I mean, it's nice.
Right.
You can have the party of your life on there. And I passed by the LGBT community raft up, man, and everybody there had a bigger boat than me. I'm telling you, I mean, and their boats were a lot nicer than mine, and they, again, time of their life, but again, people just need to focus on what you want to belong in. So I have to tell you, let's learn to respect people and let people work hard for what they have. They work hard to be what they want, but their personal life is their personal life, and we should focus on our personal life, not on theirs. So that's my story.
12 more minutes before we wrap it up here on the Talk on the Block. Again, let's try to avoid personal attacks, okay? And if I'll just put the nuclear switch in you, huh? Hello, talk to me, huh? Good afternoon. Yes, please.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Matt.
How are you,
and
sir?
Mrs. Jolly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm all right.
Okay.
I respect Mr. Jolly's perspective,
Okay.
but I disagree with him. I
That's
believe
fine.
I want to see someone who would have some problems with his wife or whatever it may be would want to see that problem would have given him the thought of becoming a gay. But I thought the gay people who are gays up to what I read recently by listening to some programs. I Googled that and I understood that this type of behavior, it's a mental problem, knowing that his dad was involved in the medical and they are also providing health care to the nation in terms of pharmacy products or medication. I would want to say that a problem with your wife can also encourage you to go to alcohol or drugs. There are different type of people, but a respectable and successful young businessman to expose in that conflict with his wife as creating an option to switch his human.
Well, I think, from all respect to you, I think you may have misunderstood.
Yes,
what Andy was saying.
caller. What I was saying was that, and I really want you to get me clear, caller, because I don't think you did. Here's the thing, caller. I was saying, it is something that I have that crosses your mind. As I said, I went for a really bad divorce, and I think something that falls on your mind is, geez, I never want to do that again. So it's not just a problem. It's something that you have to, when you consider all the options involved, Matt, of how to move forward, that has to be one of the options. You have to say, hey, how is this going to happen? Because again, it's an idea. I mean, again, caller, I'm telling you this just because, you know what, the thought does go through other people's head, and I'm not just talking about my head. I'm pretty sure it's gone through other people's head. There are certain women who have been through significant problems with men as well, not just men. I'm not the only one alone. So I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people who've gone through so many bad situations with their spouses, Matt, that they don't want they don't want that gender anymore.
They don't want to repeat it again.
They never want to repeat it again. It's been so bad. It's such a horrible experience that they're like, look, man, and I think a lot of us, entitled to that.
Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes, I hope you don't put the nuclear switch on me, and you allow me to arrive to conclusion with my observation.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I know you have a culture of doing that, but I am very impressed of his frankness. He's been frank.
Okay.
He's been direct. I'm not going to disagree with him per se on his point of view on the subject, but all I am saying, it sounds like a selfish reaction. It's like it could be a form of influencing others who have a weak mind of saying if Mr. Jolly, who is a respectable and successful businessman, can say it that way, or can make that type of observation based on his situation with his wife, he's not saying that he was about to do that, but he's saying that he contemplated of doing such a thing. But I would
And that's
understand that.
after, after
Let's leave that as that.
and that's
Let's leave
after.
that as that.
No, no, hold on,
Let me
hold
just
on.
make my
No, I'll allow you to make your point. I'm saying he said that after he was divorced. That's what he's saying. But make
Okay,
your
I
point.
understand that. Let us leave that as that. This is, I don't want to go to too personal. I have to respect his point of view, but I disagree. But okay, what I would want to say at the High Court, I don't believe the lawyers who defended the evangelical and the other institution which is against such a outcome did not do it properly, because if the Constitution says freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of association, and this is what made it unconstitutional, I would say to them that they could have said also most of our very important national symbols like the coat of arms and the flag. We have this vertical and horizontal lines which forms the different colors, and the colors signifies different things. But the vertical and the horizontal cross represents the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The biblical thing, as Mr. Jerry said earlier on, it's a book that we cannot really say it is true or it's not true. But this is something we have to lean on.
All right, I'll tell you what. Because of time, we have given you a lot of time. We want to allow somebody else to ask or make a point. Hello? So I just put on the nuclear switch now. Hello, talk to me, yeah?
Matt, good afternoon to
Good
you
afternoon
and
to
Mr.
you.
Jolly.
Good afternoon to you.
I want to ask Mr. Jolly a question. Is he a Gemini?
I'm actually a Cancer, and I'm a Cancer.
When is your birthday? Next month?
July. Yes, I'm a July born. So, but I think many people are too serious on this topic, and they need to loosen up a little bit and live and let live, they think of becoming better people. Think of treating everybody, great, equally. We have and Matt, I'm gonna probably tell you something. I mean, there's a good old saying. First they came for my neighbor, for this, and then they came for this one, and it never mattered until they
came for
came.
you.
Finally, they came for me. So we all have different rights and different expectations out of society, and it really doesn't come down to you wanting it until it's your turn. So you have to understand these people have been suppressed for a very long time, and they feel, and I feel that freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, that's something that I think we deserve as a people. And if we want to show ourselves as good people, we have to learn to respect that.
Are you there, caller, still? I think she's gone. 449-3095. We have 5 more minutes. Andy is always a bubble here on the Talk on the Block. Hello, talk to me, yeah?
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Mr. Jolly, you're right on target. Mr. Jolly, some of them that don't travel, those are the ones that want to attack. Some of them that never go nowhere and see development, they don't know what development is. You're right on target.
All right, caller, thank you very much. Hello on the telephone, yes? Caller.
My beloved Andy, I'm a Cancerian too, but I don't believe in horoscope. But we think different, eh? And I want to say to you, take up the Bible and read a little more so you'll understand.
All right, caller, thank you. Another telephone call. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Not bad at all. Mr. Jolly, it's such a pleasure listening to you.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of food for thought, from what is coming from your mind and your mouth, sir, and your expression. Very, very, very interesting listening to you. And I would want to ask you a very important question.
Ask the question.
Would you accept sitting in Parliament as one of our representatives, sir?
Again, the question comes up all the time.
The question does come up all the time, but right now I'm really so occupied in so many different things. But
at least for a year or two.
But it is something that can be considered. I feel that we need people who are educated, and we need people who are going to do good research. But most of all, Matt, you know what's lacking in Parliament? good patriots. We need people who really love Dominica, who love it to the point as they are willing to put themselves aside.
And you don't think our current set of parliamentarians?
I don't think. I think we have a lot of selfish instead of selfless people in there. I think there's a lot of people looking for their own benefit rather than looking to see how we can make a better world, a better future for our offsprings and for our people. So I think there's a lot of self in there right now, and it's a lot of everybody's looking for themselves, not necessarily how we're gonna make Dominica great and Dominica a special place for our future, for our society. Everybody's thinking what's happening for me at the end of the month or at the end of the year, not what's going to be 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line for our country. And
you don't apologize for that.
Well, no.
Are you still there, caller?
Yes, I'm still there because I can tell you, Mr. Jolly, that if your presence in there, that could make a very great difference.
All right, caller. Well, that's your point. Let's wrap it up here. It's 2 more minutes before 3 o'clock. Hello, yes.
Yeah, Matt, Mr. Jolly is right with respect to choice, Matt. Because when we talk about love, Matt, you cannot have love without free will and choice, Matt. So once God is love, so we cannot be talking about love if people do not have a choice to choose what they want, Matt. But one of the concerns I have with him is that he mentioned about the movement not being forced upon people, and I believe he's dead wrong because we have the example of what has been done in Africa, where the U.S. government tried to enforce that, and we see, Matt, even here in our locality, the gay movement, as he himself mentioned, they have money, and they've even influenced the education system, whereby they want to enforce the teaching of their lifestyle in the school, while they abandon the teaching of the Christian lifestyle in school, Matt. So they are forcing, Matt. That's why I best to disagree with him on that point.
All right, caller. Thank you.
Caller,
I think would you partake in a debate on this very subject?
I mean, I could probably partake on a debate on anything if I spent enough time researching it. But I have to tell you something, Matt. Here's the caller calling and says that the people who are the LGBTQ community is forcing their agenda. Well, guess what? The Christians force their agenda. The Jews force their agenda. The Europeans force their agenda. Matt, I don't understand this about Dominica. It's so strange. And if anybody can explain this to me, I would really appreciate some help. Here it is, that the TV that we watch every night and we show to our kids are all American TV. When we go to Parliament, we only talk about Chinese development. And then when we're in church, we only talk about Catholics. And it's almost like we have, you remember back then when every toothpaste was called what? Colgate? Every toothpaste was Colgate, So I think what we need to do is take a step back and really open up our minds that there's this broader world out there right now. And we need to know that there's all types. It's not just one type of toothpaste called Colgate anymore. We have a whole bunch of toothpaste on the shelf right now.
All right, it's 3 o'clock in Dominica. I think we have just a few minutes. We're going to take 1 or 2 more calls and call it a day. Andy will be back sometime soon before he leaves for the United States. Hello, talk to me. Very busy guy.
Hi. Good afternoon, Matt, and good afternoon to your guests. I just wanted to give a little input. I have to agree with Mr. Jolly. The people really need to calm down a little bit because some of the language and the way they come across, it's really for your backyard. It's not really for the radio. So they really need to calm down. Now, you had Pastor Rodney yesterday, and I heard him, and hearing Mr. Jolly today. I like the two side, the two side of the coin. It's good to have two different perspectives on the matter. Pastor Rodney, obviously, he's a pastor. He's a man of God. I didn't expect anything more from him, anything less. But one thing I have to say, though, that the church has its own constitution, which is the Bible. But the constitution of the land is not the Bible. The country has its own constitution. So when we're looking at the LBGT and all the laws, we just have to, just have that at the back of your head. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you very much, Andy.
Yeah. Last words. I want to wrap up for all the church-going people out there. I'm going to tell you, Matt, I'm going to tell you, the church has been infiltrated as well, too. The church is probably one of the biggest settlers of lawsuits in terms of pedophiles and in terms of people who've abused children or in terms of sodomy. So I'm going to tell you, I mean, I think everything needs to be judged as is, because the church by no means, if you research some of the stuff that the Catholic Church or even the churches have done, I'm going to tell you it's worse than the stuff that we're seeing right now. So I think let each be his own, and the church has their own cross to carry. So I don't want to carry their cross. They need to carry their own cross, but I need to carry myself as a person, and I need to make sure that everybody understands, treat everybody equally out there.
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. Simple rule. Obey it.
All right, Dominica, this is it for us.
Magasin Flow Asiwool, n'importe place, n'importe l'air. Kavini a pala potu. Flow Kavini tout suite, a dans en l'occasion choupoué.
You an easy way to pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Then you're on your way.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
How we live? Hybrid life. Living a hybrid life. What you feeling? Hybrid life. Living a hybrid life. Time we now watch one bill. That's with the contract is a sure thing. How with the new flow plan name? If you don't know about it, then they better slide in. How we live? Hybrid life. Living a hybrid life. What you feeling? Hybrid life. Living a hybrid life. Jump in a hybrid life. Living a hybrid life. What you feeling? Hybrid life. Living a hybrid life.
With Flow's new hybrid plan, postpaid and prepaid come together as one, with no overages, no contract, no deposit, and no catch.
Hybrid!
Bundle up now and get 30 gigabytes of data and unlimited phone calls for only $55 per month, plus a discounted smartphone.
You see the new phone plan that Flow made? You could turn postpaid to prepaid.
Hurricane season can be unpredictable, but your business doesn't have to be. In the face of adversity, you need a partner that goes above and beyond. Choose the path of resilience and certainty with C&W Business. Through disaster recovery as a strategy solution, C&W Business will safeguard your critical data, maintain seamless communication channels, and help you bounce back faster than ever.